What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode, a special episode of Post Credits Podcast, a show where we are lucky enough to talk about movies. This is episode 19. Yes, recorded on March 2nd to get posted on podcast services on March 4th to the usual spots: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and then YouTube sometime later. I am one of your hosts, Grayson Maxwell, and joining me as I do every week are my co-host, Roger. I think I'm dying, Stillion, and Chris. I just shoved a whole pizza down my gullet, Bon.
It was a slice.
It was a slice, but I
It
mean,
was a
whatever.
All right. So we just watched the Oscars, guys. What do
did.
you
Well,
think?
sort of.
No.
Sort of.
No, we watched some
we
of the
watched
Oscars,
pieces
and then
of the Oscars.
You watched some of the Oscars.
So, like, we watched the beginning. You didn't.
we all watched.
We
the
watched the middle together.
We did.
Then you watched the end because we couldn't.
Yeah.
So
So it just like terminated your feed on Hulu. It just
so yeah.
at
so
10:30 on the dot.
So yeah, we were watching on Hulu. You know, like as touted. You know, watch the Oscars live on Hulu. So I did. Sort of.
We followed the directions.
Yeah, Hulu crashed to start, which is great. Wasn't just for us; it was for globally. They broke fucking Hulu. Awesome. So they finally get it up and going. Grayson finally gets to watch because we got in
about
good
20 minutes
before
before
Grayson did.
20:30.
Oh yeah. I couldn't log in on, and it must have been different, like East and West. It must have
You
been
were
different.
super calm and not
he
freaking
was
out at all. by the
Very,
way.
very.
I was
well
pissed.
thought out, rash,
Professional, even
not rash.
Yeah,
decisions.
handle
I was
it
like
with
that.
cool and level headed.
I was somewhat agitated. I will say.
somewhat. But then we're almost it's a 10:30 mark. There's like 2 categories left or whatever, and we're watching on Hulu, and it comes up with a big banner that says "Thanks for watching."
Thanks for watching. Your program has ended.
Your program has ended. It was 10:33 p.m.
Which is right when the next thing on Hulu
We
was
should have
supposed to
started.
start.
That's when the American Idol special should have started
Yeah.
right afterwards.
Oh,
Which was
man.
fucking great.
Yeah,
That's
'Cause
gotta
that's-
be.
but I
You gotta
think
get
with,
that American Idol in, huh?
well, we think with you being West Coast and us being East Coast,
It
that's
didn't
why
happen to you because it
yours
wasn't
kept
next.
running. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, I mean, look, it's poor planning. But here's the thing: like, I don't understand. We are now deep in the digital age where people stream as a normal thing. I don't understand how this happens every year. Chris, you might have a little bit of insight into, like, I mean, you don't have to go into detail,
Yeah.
but like things happen, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, whenever there's adjustments being made, on a technical level, that some things are queued up, things have to be switched around, code has to be deployed, and if there's any mistakes in any of that process, or if there's a faulty server involved, backtracking all of that and then just putting it back to where it was. There's no button to push. That it's all a process. Even if you're doing it live and fixing it live, you have to do step-by-step things and then wait and see and then let it all run. So I'm sure there's a very technical, very straightforward reason of why things weren't working. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Sure.
still not a good look. And
No,
it's still
I
not
totally
great. Yeah.
And before we get into the Oscar, the recap, we did do, I don't know, Roger, that surely it posted before this episode on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you can see that we did do our picks. We did kind of amongst each other to see. I think Chris is the overall winner, though. Yeah.
I
see
mean,
that.
yeah,
see that
I mean, there's no
smile.
thinking about it. We got Roger here with a solid 9 points. Took some of the biggest categories
I did.
and pulled away with some very strategic process.
Next year
of some
there'll be
picking.
weighted categories.
hold on.
All
Allegedly.
right.
And then Grayson coming through with 10 points, taking the runner-up space to my solid 11 points. Took some risks, but with clever forethought.
Took some risks.
With some clever forethought. I can't say that word. And just the right kind of tact with certain category names and movie titles. I have pulled in the lead with 11 points, and I am the defending and reigning champion
It's
now.
true.
2
No,
years
he is.
running.
He is.
That is
He's
true.
the one to run down.
But
so.
because I've taken what has been, I think, rudely claimed as garbage categories instead of the important ones.
I think you went 4 out of 5 for the bottom tier.
I would
things,
argue that all cinema is equally important.
Yeah, okay,
Thank you very
okay.
much.
All right, this is how we're
Stop
doing.
this.
All right, Chris.
Stop this.
He got lucky with like the international. Like, well, he got lucky with like.
Well, no, listen,
documentary-
nobody got lucky with
Totally.
international film.
Yeah, no, but not
Let's talk about
yeah,
that.
not even
Can I
the
talk
Downey
about? Can I talk about how relieved I am that Amelia Perez didn't win it? And I don't say it from any other point of view except it just wasn't good enough to win anything.
I mean, here's the thing: you say that though, it did win multiple Oscars. Kind
Well,
of
sure, but it was like best song and a couple other things, but like not
best
for like
original song and best
yeah,
supporting actor. So like
Mhm.
it took
sure.
it took two big categories.
Yeah.
Now that's all that it took
Yeah, but like
after having
Z-
13 nominations.
but Zoe
You know,
performed. Zoe Saldana been in Hollywood for 2-3 decades. Were both those awards? I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
it's not like it. You get my drift. I mean, that was a very safe choice to give Amelia Perez an award, but it's just I was worried that we were going to start rewarding things that are just okay-ish. I just don't think Amelia Perez was. I mean, that's not. If you type in, it's not hard to find the discussion on Amelia Perez. I just didn't think it was worthy of being nominated for damn near anything. So I'm happy that they didn't. I'm not saying it from any point of view. There are other films that certainly deserve to be recognized, and they were. Some of that. I don't think Dune got its fair shake,
Well,
but
I mean,
Dune will
we
next.
know
Yeah.
Dune did not get a fair shake.
But
We do.
Dune
But
Part 3 will sweep everything.
Dune
So.
did get more than what
did.
we kind of expected. I mean, it won in the categories that we thought it absolutely should have. But
It did win
know,
cinematography though, which I would have thought.
yeah,
Was
which, but there was discussion that by some of us here that said that it won't win any because of an early sequel announcement. But
that was somebody else here. Not
that
me,
was
though.
somebody, yeah.
I
But
don't
I
know
mean,
who
but
that-
either way, I mean, it was nice to see Dune win some. Sad to see it not win others that it wasn't even considered for, which is insanity to me. But whatever.
Wild.
Yeah. So I mean,
Oh, it's one. Some of the. I mean, there are some movies that were, I think, very noticeably absent from this. Challengers being among them. For me, White
Challengers
Bird.
getting no nominations.
zero.
Yeah.
Crazy.
White Bird, A Wonder Story, to me is like I watched that. I'm like, how in the hell did this not get nominated for a dozen things?
Bro,
that
let's
movie's
talk
exceptional.
about
That
one
movie's
thing for just a
exceptional.
second. The one thing that got nominated for Best Picture only and nothing else in any other category, Nickel Boys. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like, I don't
Why
want
is
to
it there?
disparage a movie.
Yeah.
Never seen it. No one has seen Nickel Boys that I've ever met or knows what it is, right?
Well, that's
And
just that.
somehow slides into the discussion for Best Picture.
Yeah.
So no matter whatever happens with this, on the DVD cover, it will say
Yeah.
Best Picture nominee, Nickel Boys.
It won't even have a DVD cover, dude. It'll just be
No.
on the streaming tag.
Yeah,
You know what I
whatever.
mean?
Probably on Hulu that's broken. So
Well, I mean, it just goes. It's just. It's like what Chris? What do you say? Like it's just we learned a lot about Hollywood tonight. Regardless of how the awards
I
went,
don't feel like we learned
stuff.
anything we didn't already know.
Well, okay. I mean,
I think we learned a few things.
Then a lot has been confirmed that we knew
Yes,
that otherwise would have never been actually said. And and whether Hollywood likes it or not, what happened tonight did say a lot about the way that they value and how they judge, like a movie's greatness. And unfortunately, it isn't always about how good the product of the film is. A lot, sometimes that is just an accent on the reasons why things are nominated, or an accent on why something is great. Is, oh well, the movie's also good. Should never be the kind of like the crux of the conversation. That should always be the leading piece, and then everything else shouldn't matter, but just be nice things to go along with it. But with Amelia Perez, it's become evident that sometimes a movie, it gets a lot of accolades and a lot of acclaim, and if the greatness of a film is all that things are judged by, nothing else would matter. Whether it be bad press, good press, whatever else happens on the wayside of a film is good, or performance is good, or
just
this or
stand
that.
up for itself.
It's just good.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And another one that I think you guys would really enjoy, September 5. I don't know if it came out in official capacity in 2024.
It didn't win anything tonight, though, did it? Right?
No, it didn't even get nominated. But
it was in like 2 categories for something.
Got a couple of nominations.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It
Was it so?
categories.
Then it was. But that movie's exceptional too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it doesn't get talked about. I mean, Chris, it's a lot of the camera work that you hate. Like, it's a lot of like the zoom in, zoom out, like the Born Identity stuff that you despise. But I love it. So, but it's a very interesting story. It's one of it tells the attack of the Olympic Village, but like from inside the ABC control room that's like a mile away. And it's very tension filled. I thought that again, it was like one of those movies. Like, how did this movie not get nominated? How did it not get talked about at all? But those are the 3 that surprised me. Did you guys have any that like you weren't there and it was very noticeable?
I mean, things that I'm not as quite like movie minded, and movie learned as maybe you guys are on, like what movies should be here that aren't in like a smaller concentration way. Some of the big stuff, I mean, like Dune's missing from some categories that we think, but like that's something that I think we've all talked about very much.
Sure.
Other good films that we've seen this year, there's a couple on here that it's obviously, since they did the 5 per category thing, that it limits their selection pool.
Only when they wanted to, though.
Disappointed to see that some of the other good films that we saw this year weren't on there. But I mean, nothing else that's like really shocking or anything like that.
I mean, the huge surprise, 2 huge surprises for me in this one. One is Amelia Perez not winning foreign language film.
Yeah.
Which is wow.
It's wild. Yeah.
Unprecedented.
Yeah. I mean, definitely goes against the current trend.
Yep.
Right. Which is something we'll have to now pay attention to because it's never been in play before. Now that it is. The other big one is a category we were split on. I guess we all voted the same way, but we had real discussions. Was the animated feature going to the foreign language animated feature of Flow?
Oh God,
about the cat, like gigantic upset. Man, over Wild Robot
and Inside Out too.
Yeah, because look, I expected Wild Robot to win because Wild Robot is an exceptional movie.
Yeah,
it's fucking great. But look, while I had picked Wild Robot to win, if Inside Out 2 would have won, I would have win. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
A very good movie. Can't trash Flow. Haven't seen it, but.
It is on Max, just as it is available to watch on Max.
So, yeah, that's just things that I have to add to a list of stuff I didn't expect to have to go see or have to take a look at. So,
so let's get into let's get into it really quick.
Okay.
We'll start at the bottom. I think I have a list that starts at the bottom, works its way up to the more important ones. Best documentary short. So here's the ones that Chris took. Oddly, he just happened to guess right.
No. Strategically planned guesses. And listen, I said this earlier, and I'm gonna say it again, and I mean it. To beat the champ, you got to think like the champ.
Fair.
And I'm sorry that you guys
I'll have to do that. I'm just
going
to change the rankings next year for weighted categories, and we won't ever have this discussion again.
What the heck?
Okay, best documentary short.
Somebody's list here is very top heavy.
Yeah. Okay. Best documentary short. The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Chris, I understand your reasoning for choosing that.
Riveting.
One.
And I don't know how you guys didn't see the value in this film to pick it.
Yep.
All right. Best animated short, In the Shadow of Cypress. I don't think any of us guessed that one. So
no, but look, I feel like I should have because then I saw a poster of it. It's just some man who looks like a claymation model smoking a cigarette.
You would have chosen that one.
I definitely would have picked that.
This is one of my fellow hosts.
Best live action short, one that we all at least Roger and I got. Chris, did you also?
We all got this.
We all got this. We all picked it for different reasons.
I'm Not a Robot. It's an awesome name, I guess. Yep. All right, so best visual effects. Very, I think, expectedly went to Dune 2. I thought if Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was going to win anything, this was going to be that, but it didn't.
Yeah. That was
look. That was a deal breaker for you, Grace, and that could have been a time.
Yeah, that could have been it. Yeah, that could have been. We could have been sharing this. You know what I mean?
Best cinematography went to The Brutalist, which I don't think a lot of people expected to happen because I really thought Conclave had that locked.
Yeah, I don't want to jump in here real quick, but Brutalist cleened up tonight. Absolutely
very well.
Beat ass tonight.
Brutalist and Anora beat ass.
Beat ass.
Best film editing went to Anora, which if you've seen, I guess it's one of those things that, I can give to any of those because I don't. Yeah, it's really one of those. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, best sound went to Dune, which I mean, to no one's surprise, Dune. That sound is incredible.
How do you bring spaceships and a giant weird Chihuahua monster to life? You know what I mean? So
yeah. I
real
agree.
ones get that joke.
I forgot about the
real ones get that joke.
I forgot about that. Fucking
best production design went to Wicked.
Yes.
Again, I didn't see this one coming.
None of us got that, by the way.
You didn't? I thought you got that.
No, that was one of the ones where all kind of like, huh?
Yeah, it was like, huh? I mean, the big Broadway musical movie. We should have kind of thought about it for a minute, but it is what it is.
What did best hair and makeup go to? This list isn't done.
It went to Substance.
Substance. What was the Substance?
Which I don't think any of us got that either.
Yeah, no, we did not. Yeah, hair and makeup went to Substance.
Yep.
I guess
That's-
Wicked's that. Who'd have known it?
Okay. The subs. Well, I mean, if again, it's going to win anything. Best costume design went to Wicked. That's fairly
Sure.
fairly
That was easy.
That makes
Lay
complete
up.
sense.
good. Best documentary feature, No Other Land. Chris, I'm sure you saw that one. Like, was that a good documentary feature, Chris?
That was a riveting piece of cinema that I don't know,
Riveting think piece.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There you
Those
go.
words, those fancy words.
I'll feed you
Yeah.
some bullshit
Yeah,
buzzwords. I got
That's good.
this.
That's good. That's good.
Listen, I work super corporate life. I got this.
All right,
that
let's
was
trudge
another
on.
solo Chris category, in case anybody's wondering.
Yes,
So.
yes.
I
wondered.
Best original
was-
score is The Brutalist. Again, it's one of those. It's like that one's a tough. I had chosen Wicked, but
I
then
did too.
like
I think we all
after-
did, didn't we?
I
think
think
we all
so.
picked Wicked on that one.
You can't,
Yeah.
like, and that one you can't, like, the fact that we all picked Wicked. No one's gonna be like, "You idiots," you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's not how that works.
That was a safe bet.
yes, it really was.
I mean, it was wrong, but it was safe.
Yep.
Brutalist. Best original song went to El Mal. Amelia Perez. So that's one that Amelia Perez
Yes.
did take,
Yep.
and that's
Well, it's also the one that was nominated for 2
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
same category.
Yeah,
and I guessed the wrong one. If I'd have guessed the other one, that also would have been a tie. So
Would have.
yeah, but again, you didn't force.
I
You didn't.
know.
You didn't have the fortuitous, thorough, put knowledge to pick Zoe Saldana as one of the most powerful supporting actresses this year.
no,
And that is why. But then why don't you pick her song?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. You know what I mean?
Sure. And best adapted screenplay, I guess for Roger and I, this is a win for Conclave.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely did not get that one.
Chris, I don't know if you've seen Conclave yet, but man,
Conclave
you are
didn't
missing
get
out.
enough play
I
tonight.
stayed honest to my picks and only went with movies that I've seen. So I didn't see Conclave, so I picked Conclave for none of my answers. So
Okay. Yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
okay.
Best original screenplay, Nora by Sean Baker, which does make sense that Nora did quite well.
So like I didn't get this one because like I thought for sure this was going to be The Substance because like
I picked Emily Perez.
yeah
Yeah.
The Substance got it won hair and makeup.
It did.
But like I thought like screenplay because like it takes a lot to get a story like
Oh yeah.
Substance onto the screen.
Yeah.
So
it is
I
kind of a
love
wild something like that. You could see winning absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, but best animated feature, we've talked on this, but it went to
damn it.
Flow. I've seen part of Flow, but I fell asleep. It was late one night. I didn't finish it.
must have been riveting.
So you're saying it
No,
was enthralling,
hold
right?
on, guys. I work like 12-hour days, and I come home. I tried and I went for a walk, and like, oh, I'll try to watch this 95-minute movie. Nope.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's like I don't understand how that happened. Like that has to be an intentional choice, right?
Well, it's
maybe
okay,
it's
hold on.
awesome.
I mean, surprising win within its category, but at the same time, I mean, Wild Robot. I don't see how it beats that out. Honestly, I haven't seen Flow, so it's hard for me to speak on it. But Wild Robot was so good and just had a lot of praise across
agree.
the board. Inside Out 2, it is a sequel, so they have a harder time usually against original works. But I don't know. It
It's
also
Pixar though. I mean, Pixar is a
Yeah.
hard one to bet. And I wonder if Pixar's like, we didn't win this. We didn't win this one, guys.
I mean, in the end, everybody loves cats. So
Yeah,
I mean, like, look, Pixar's not. I mean, like, look, they're an incredible studio. They are not light years ahead of everybody else anymore.
no, yeah,
Like people, they have leveled the playing field, which is listen. That's good for everybody.
yeah. I mean, never forget Animal Crackers got made. So if you can get that made,
Oh,
that's
anybody can
Netflix.
make something.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was Netflix though. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
It's great film.
That's my point.
Yeah,
That
that's
it's Pixar.
it's a weird because also Wallace and Gromit won in the BAFTA Awards, which is very British. But again, like I'm gonna have to start and finish Flow. I'm gonna have to because that movie is just.
I want a
it won
full
over
report
some
on
great
Wallace
things.
and Gromit.
Yeah.
Fair. I'm sure I could find that too. Let's talk about best international feature, which is a big upset for Roger. This is like the one that
Shocker.
Roger thought he had. Like of any of them, he thought he had this one.
Listen, until this point, Roger's thought process and reasoning behind
Has been
this has
dead
been
nuts
solid
for years.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
So, like international feature, which used to be called foreign language film,
Mhm.
this is a recent change to that. You know, it's hard to have. Now, the only other thing that I could see that if it would have won, so like after Flow took Best Animated, right? If Flow also would have
That-
won,
I was thinking
if
that.
Flow would have won international, like then my argument is still valid.
Yes,
right? Is
yeah.
still validated.
But
For a movie that is not Amelia Perez or Flo to win, it's like then Amelia Perez can't be listed for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Like it can't be on that list.
Yeah.
You couldn't win the category that is a shoe-in for you.
Well, but you see, when you have a shitstorm happen on X, the Everything app, this is what happens. So
The everything. Don't fucking call it that.
Well, I mean, Blue Sky's not catching on, so it's gonna be X for a lot longer. But I'm still here one from Brazil. I hear good things for what it's worth. It's one that again I don't make near the effort I should to watch the international films. I really should make a better effort with that. I just time being what it is like that's our most valuable and finite resource as I tick closer to 40. But it's just I just really have a hard time with those. Did you guys ever watch? Do you watch any of those this year, guys? Besides Amelia Perez?
Nope.
And Flow. No. Flow's
nope.
That was available. We should have watched that too. But again, time being what it is.
But Flow wasn't available until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that one was hard to catch.
So let's talk about Best Director. Again, this kind of plays into the whole political game with it kind of shows you the pieces, what's coming. But Sean Baker, of course, Anora. And if you've seen Anora, then that's one that you probably wouldn't argue with.
Sean Baker with a nice, clean, 3-minute Oscar speech too. By the way,
solid, strong. Written down. Thanked his mom.
Fired through it. Yeah. Oh, it was her birthday. Happy birthday to Sean Baker's mom.
Yeah, happy birthday.
That's right.
Shout out to Sean Baker's mom. Yeah, of course.
I listen. I'm glad I didn't write in the director that I think should win this category, but
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, because then I wouldn't have won our.
That's right. It's true. You would have taken a.
But I still think that again there are people missing from certain categories, and this is one
I agree.
Of those.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Now I don't. Now here's the thing, though. After seeing Anora, even if Dune was on here, I don't know if I'd be upset that that Sean Baker won this.
Sure,
because it really is a fantastic. Yeah,
Anora's good
on all levels.
So this is no slight to Anora. Anora is very good.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, you can when the year the Dune 3, the Dune Part 3 comes out, you can bet it's going to sweep. It's going to do very well that year because it'll be like Return of the King.
I would never bet something
unless Timothy Chalamet has a whole bunch of stuff happen on X the Everything app,
or a whole bunch of racist tweets. Yeah, sure, it could.
Yeah,
but let's take a second. I want to ask you guys a question. Do you think? Now, I mean, again, the voting is probably very kind of behind closed doors, and very few people know that process. Very few people know the intricacies behind when the voting happens and how it happens. But do you think the election played into how the awards were doled out this year? This is just something for me. Do you think the election?
I mean, that's a real hard thing to do since the awards didn't come out till months after the election. So how could you ever make that statement? But have a direct line correlation.
Well, I know, but Chris, the people of this country voted a certain way, so it's just I don't know if it's swayed. My question is just, do you think it's swayed anything? I mean, I don't know.
The question I would ask is, what point are you trying to make? If it did or not.
Well, I mean, I'll entertain the question. I think no, and I think the reason is because two things, and they both have to do with Hollywood. Hollywood has always been very opinionated in its own direction, and it will not, and it refuses to be swayed. And the other thing is, I think that if anything, the reaction would have been polar opposite of the election if the election was a focus of the Oscars, because again, in defiance of of the way the election results went, Hollywood is very much oppositely aligned. So I think if anything, it would have been out of defiance. It would have been even
and I totally understand
a much
that.
different result.
I guess the answer
I don't think the election had anything to do with the way things came out.
I guess the answer to the question.
Well, hold on. I don't see anything that would scream this is only here because of X, because of that reason. If anything, I see things on here that would be opposite of that. But So to take all of it and think it from that lens, I don't think it lines up. I think it's more of just the Oscars are doing what the Oscars do, and again, they have enough of crap to sift through at this point to deal with the whole Amelia Perez thing that they don't need anything else to really.
I totally understand that.
Kind of muck this up a little bit. So
that was definitely the most divisive election. I just didn't know if it would have affected anything. How would we know?
I
don't see it.
But I don't see it.
That's what I mean. We would never know either way, really.
True.
That's
true. Best supporting actor, Kieran Culkin. Do you think he ribs his brother about being the better Culkin?
Is he the younger or the older?
Younger.
Then he absolutely does. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But
100%.
I'm Roger. You said he swept a lot of the other
He
award
won
shows.
every award, every one.
SAG and BAFTA, right? Both of them.
SAG, BAFTA, Golden Globe, all of it.
Oh, good. I'd like to. That's one. A Real Pain is one that I really kind of enjoyed with him and Eisenberg. So yeah, I'm glad.
Sound strategy in
that's
your
okay,
picking
talking to
process,
it.
by the way, Roger. I respect that. Champion to almost champion.
Well, that's the thing is, and the real one it actually cost me is coming up because like I bet heavy on that, which I made an informed decision. It just didn't pay off.
I get you.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get to that soon then. Well, so it's best supporting actress. I think all three of us picked Zoe, right?
No,
I think.
didn't.
No.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
No,
Who did you
didn't. I picked Ariana Grande because
Wicked. Yeah.
Because Wicked. Here's the thing, though. Wicked won a lot of other stuff
You're
too.
not wrong for betting on Wicked, is what it comes down
yeah.
to. You know what I mean?
I mean, I was, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But I thought I was really convinced that Amelia Perez had pulled too much heat, and I thought it was going to get not blanked, but
just
like
ignored.
I thought it was getting cut out. Well, I thought I was getting cut out the big stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my reasoning was, I mean, when I watched that movie, Zoe Saldana was clearing away.
She's
the best part of it.
She,
I mean,
course.
sure, yeah. And like, look, it's nothing against her. It's just that movie is not good.
Nope. Yeah, that movie ran into a lot of stuff.
So I mean, congrats to Amelia Perez for winning one more Oscar than Transformers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Damn.
Take that, Michael Bay. You hear that? Let's talk about the best actor going to Adrian Brody, who again gave the same long speech he gave 25 years ago on screen, and even included his joke of "Turn the music off. I've done this before. I'm not getting off the stage yet." Which I thought was kind of brilliant, but I don't know if it was planned that way.
That wasn't a planned joke, not at all.
No.
There ain't no way. No.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to see him do well again. He's always an actor that I've never actually been dissatisfied with anything he's done.
Predators, thank you.
Oh well, that's the kind of the
okay.
I have a question.
I have a question about this category for you guys.
Sure.
So this is, I think, another interesting kind of like what if topic.
Okay.
I picked Timothy Chalamet for this, and I mentioned in our bit where we actually went through and casted our votes for what we thought was going to win this, which you should listen to that, audience, if you haven't listened.
You should have listened to that already.
It's fantastic. But the do you guys think that if there's a chance that a Chalamet doesn't get a bunch of crap for the speech he gave at the SAG Awards, do you think there's a chance he wins this, or do you think that it doesn't matter either way?
No, I don't think it matters either way because Adrian Brody won this award.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one. Besides the SAG Award, Adrian Brody won every other major award, so like it's not some sort of like gotcha shocker there.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't think so.
Sound reasoning.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah. I was just. It's just interesting because like he has caught a lot of flack for his speech, and then it's like I can because Hollywood has shown me there's no actual adherence to the highest of quality standard. There's a lot of underlying things that go into this at this point.
Sure.
It's like it's like, oh, so you want to be cocky and talk about wanting to be the greatest, and not this time, and then give it to somebody else in the category.
Though I think it's hilarious. It's like a young guy who's really good at what he does says he wants to be the greatest, and people are like, "Whoa, no."
Why do people? But why are people so? Why do they such pushback to that? Like, I mean,
that's the thing. It doesn't make any sense.
I think Timothy Chalamet, he's almost there anyway. So I mean, what's the, And if you watch the Bob Dylan film, A Complete Unknown, it's not Timothy Chalamet winning Best Actor.
He's not some schlub in it, right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like if he'd have won it, a lot of people would have been like, "Yeah, he's pretty good in that."
Yeah, he's not Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong phoning it in. You know what I mean? This is a whole different thing.
He's not Gladiator being the scrappy underdog winning or getting as far to thing. If you didn't watch, we did a Seed thing.
Well, that's not out yet, so
it's coming out.
It won't be out yet.
You're predicting the future now.
Friday,
even though I'll be in the same shirt in that one, it's fine.
We all will be.
I'm not wearing a shirt in that one.
Fair enough.
It's true. Tune in.
Tune in. See him.
There's
Roger.
peanut butter in that one too.
Indeed. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, so Best Actress, Mikey Madison, which again, no surprise, Nora. If you've seen Nora, you completely can understand why.
Yeah.
Even if you can accept it, you can certainly understand why.
My girl Cynthia got snubbed. It's fine.
Oh, so you did do Cynthia Erivo from Wicked,
I did.
I thought that. I mean, again, it's like that's as good a choice as any.
Not as good as Mikey
That's good.
Madsen.
Mikey
No,
Madsen.
I didn't follow the number one rule, and I'm beating myself up for it.
Mhm.
So it is what it is.
What's the
So,
number
like,
one
look,
rule?
this is where you'll find
Nope,
that like
not here.
my picks really start to shine.
Fine. If you want to know what the number one rule is, subscribe to our Patreon for that kind of bonus content.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Mm.
right. So those are the big winners for the evening, and the best film, Anora, which again, no surprise to anyone if you've seen it. Again, it should not be
It
a
was a
surprise.
surprise to me. I did not pick that.
What did you?
I picked Conclave.
I picked Wicked.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay, then I guess.
Yeah.
So there's
like-
a reason why you were within 1 point of
Yeah.
tying for first in this.
So
All right,
like,
fair.
so here's the thing. I picked Conclave, and I stand by Conclave is a great movie. Like, this is not a snub to Nora. Nora's awesome.
No,
Okay.
we've already said it.
Yeah.
Nora's fantastic.
Conclave is a great movie from start to finish. It really does work very well. And listen, watch Conclave. You understand what I mean. I'm not mad that it didn't win it. The reason I picked Conclave here is the exact same reason why I got multiple other picks right. Is because they won. It won every other major award, Best Picture. So like for Anora to sneak up into this, it's not like it's the underdog here. Like Anora is great. It's just a bit surprising. That's all. You know, like I hedged my bet. I went big.
Listen,
This is the only big category that I lost, by the way.
listen.
That's fair.
Sometimes it's just one play. You know?
That's it.
That's it.
You know, tip that ball instead of catching it.
You know what? I actually don't know if I chose Anora. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I might have been Conclave now that Roger mentioned. I don't. I have written down Anora, but I don't.
Don't worry,
now that I'm remembering back.
Don't
Okay,
worry. I'll play back the tape to find out because I want to hear.
I have the tape.
I want to hear myself win. You know what I mean? It's all good.
All right. Well, that's. I mean, I guess the big upset was Amelia Perez didn't even win Best International.
I don't think
film.
that's a big upset.
Well,
okay, didn't win Best International is a big upset. Yes.
Yeah, hold on. I think it is an upset, but it's not. It's not a surprising upset. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it was the most nominated movie this year, right?
Of all time, or tied for the most
Yeah.
nominations of all time.
You know, and for it to walk away with
two.
a criminally low amount compared to what it was nominated for, that is unprecedented. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on a different episode where it's like, you know, what if this movie doesn't walk away with a whole bunch of wins, and here we are. So
I would make an argument though that like it shouldn't even count for like the one of the most nominated things of all time.
Why?
Because it's nominated twice in the same category.
Ooh, that's
So
I mean, that's
like
fair.
if you really want to
Has
split
it-
hairs,
Has it ever happened?
I don't know.
before?
That's the thing.
Okay.
That's why I can't
If that's
I
not-
can't rule it out.
If that's never happened before, I would listen to that argument.
right, like
If-
he's like you could make that.
yeah. If it
could
has
make that
happened
argument.
before, though, if this isn't the
Yeah,
only
if it's
film
not
to do
new,
that,
I'll
then
stand. I'll
fair play.
let's say
Fair play.
throw that argument out the window. But I'm not sure,
All right.
so I won't.
that's interesting. I did
Yeah, like, something to think about, right? Like that, 2 nominations, 1 category. It's just like now that has happened before a couple years ago for some best supporting things,
Yeah.
where like that movie gets that nomination, but only one of those people can win it. Like you can't win both of those categories. So like there was at no point yesterday or during this thing where they could have won the most things.
Yeah,
of all
because
time.
they could have never won 13 if that was
It's,
the case.
it's impossible to do, right?
Crazy.
So
Oh yeah, it's
Small
good. I
thing.
didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
mm,
So yeah.
math undefeated.
Roger using
know-
using your
you
big
know-
your big noggin to think on that. Yeah.
You know what else
It's
is
almost
undefeated?
like I have a movie podcast.
You know
Don't,
what else is
almost-
don't
undefeated?
listen to some asshole on the radio.
You know what else is undefeated?
What's that?
Oh my gosh.
My current streak in
Yeah.
our prediction.
I mean, as far as I know, I'm undefeated in something coming in the future.
That's
oh my god!
I
one
just,
for
just
one.
throwing that out. Hey,
One for one.
hey, that's it.
Oh, this.
I mean, look,
all
Chris,
right.
you're 2 for
Listen,
2. So
Listen,
3 for 3.
oh, are you
that's-
3 for 3?
that's
I'm
foreshadowing
the
people
3
for
time.
future content that you may or may not ever see.
I'm the
And
back.
I hurt them both right where it counted.
I'm the back to back to back, my friend.
Actually, if you a little bit of house cleaning before we wrap the episode up, though, is like that. It's going to be dropping on Friday, so 3 days after this. It's a what do we call it, Chris? That's your baby. So
movie bracket battle.
the movie bracket battle we did. It's
No,
actually
recommended movie battle.
Yeah,
Recommended movie
yeah,
battle.
that's it. Well, name and progress.
TBA.
TBA. But
TBA.
we really enjoyed that one, and I think
Yeah, it
if-
was
It
cool.
was a lot of fun.
I think you'll really enjoy it if you kind of log in and kind of dial in with it. We did a few things wrong in it, but we'll fix it for
We
next.
did
Nah,
nothing
I
wrong
did
in it.
nothing
Everything's
wrong in it.
perfect in it. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
All right, fair enough.
You are just upset because your
No, hold on.
favored
We
didn't make
mentioned
it.
movies without mentioning what year it came out, who was
Doesn't
in it,
matter.
any
We don't gotta.
of it,
Hey,
any of it.
We don't gotta.
That's exactly how that was supposed to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
All right, shut us
anyway.
down here.
Yeah.
All
Close
right,
us out.
it's a very successful night for Hollywood.
Late.
I think a lot of great awards given out. A lot of happy people going home tonight. And if you're Hulu, get your stuff together.
Fix your shit,
Hulu.
bro.
Fix your shit, bro.
I'm not even going to be nice about that.
Hulu doesn't give a shit about what we think about their Oscar performance.
No,
Actually, they're going to because I'm actually going to try to get a month free for this shitty thing.
Nice. You go, girl.
Why wouldn't I?
Are you gonna write a strongly worded email?
No, I'll go to their thing and be like, "This is fucking bullshit. I pay for this, and it didn't work for multiple hours. That's why I want some money back."
Damn.
You should listen. Everybody should do that. I'm not even kidding. Like when your stuff doesn't work, complain. You're allowed to.
I agree 100%.
Now that you're in a different department, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, go complain. I like it.
Hey,
I like it.
I didn't say complain to the people that fucking work at the place that give you internet. I said complain to the people that fucking make the stuff.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me for this late broadcast. Roger, sounds like you're dying. Hopefully, you can go home and get some sleep.
Or
some
die,
medicine.
one or the other.
Either
way it ends.
they're both sweet releases.
Either way it ends. That's right.
What did you guys have over there first besides the pizza for snacks? I don't even like. I know you guys. I heard you guys chomping on some chips.
We had a whole bag of chips.
We can't name any brands because sponsorship.
I would
offers.
love a sponsorship,
but we ate some
and
pizza.
I would name whatever. Listen, I can be bought.
Insert your pizza. Insert your pizza company here. You know what I mean? That's
pepperoni and bacon and extra cheese.
Extra cheese is what did it.
Extra cheese was the right call.
It was. It was good. It was clutch.
I love to dip my pizza in ranch. I know it's very high school, but I love it, man. I never have grown out of that.
Very
I love
high
it.
school. It's a celebrated tradition to this day. What do you mean?
That's fair. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, sure.
It stands the test of time at this point. Close us out.
I'm trying to, but Roger keeps talking. He sounds like he's dying.
You asked me about fucking pizza.
Roger might die on the screen right now as we speak. All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining me for this episode 19 of Post Credits Podcast.
19-ish.
Each new episode, yes. You can. Each new episode posts every Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. on the podcast service of your choice of the following 6: Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Some weeks we have bonus content. This is one of those weeks. Check us out.
We do got some bonus.
A very entertaining. I think you'll be really into it if you listen to it. It's surprisingly awesome. Yeah, that is
not surprisingly. Definitely awesome.
It's definitely awesome. Anyway,
the champ wrote it up, so it's good. Don't worry about it.
Next week
close us out.
Next week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming with a movie and the box office and all that fun stuff to break it down.
Yep.
Have a good week.
See ya.
Peace.